Good afternoon, Mr. Little. Good afternoon, sir. Can you hear me, sir? Hello, sir. Can you hear me? Mr. Little, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, okay. Can you hear me, sir? Can you hear me?
Hello,
So, so in our last
hello,
class,
Shano Bami.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So in our last class, we we used the opportunity to look at um, the majority of the candlestick patterns we have, and this week will be the last week we'll be looking at candlestick patterns from the single to the double and to the triple candlestick patterns we have. So, so that's why in the last class, before I ended the class, I gave us a room whereby we should take a look at all the candlestick patterns we have discussed, and for us to make sure these candlestick patterns we've discussed, for us to make sure this all these candlestick patterns we've discussed, we've we are familiar with each and every one of them, because after this week that will be the end of this topic for candlestick patterns. But before we now say we want to move to another topic, we have to make sure we understand all the candlestick patterns we have discussed from the single to the double. So today's class now we'll be using today's class as a revision class, talking about all the candlestick patterns we've discussed in previous classes, from single to double and to the triple one which we are on it currently. Because once this class ends, that will be the end of this class for candlestick patterns. So in the next topic, we will be looking entirely at a new different topic entirely. So we'll be treating a new different topic entirely. So today's class is more of like a revision class for all the candlestick patterns we have discussed. Because this will be the last class whereby we get to discuss candlestick patterns. So from next week, we are moving entirely into a new topic. So today's class, we will dive into majority of the candlestick patterns whereby we've discussed in previous classes. So to let us understand and know that all what we have been discussing in previous classes, we really understood or understand them. So today, today we'll be looking at the common candlestick patterns we've discussed and making sure we are able to identify majority of these candlestick patterns on our chart. Because currently we are literally on three candlestick patterns, and after this which is the last confirmation candlestick patterns we have, the three candlestick patterns we have discussed is we've talked about the morning star, the evening star, which are a reversal, the three reversal candlestick patterns we use for a change of trend from bullish scenario into a bearish scenario. The evening star for a change of trend from the bullish scenario into a bearish scenario. The morning star from a bearish scenario into a bullish scenario, a change of trend. And another example of three candlestick patterns we looked at is the three white soldiers and the three dark crows, three black crows, which we gave us series of examples and we make us understood that it is a candlestick pattern that formed that gives us it's a form of momentum candlestick that is trying to indicate to us that the sellers are strong. Likewise, the three white soldiers is an indication that the buyers are strong. So you can see these examples now. Let's just quickly do a dive in, because what we'll be doing majority of today's class is like a revision. Because after these three black rows, we've covered the entire patterns we have, and all the patterns we have discussed today will give us the grace to like look at them and try and spot few ones on our chart as well. Or if you also have some candlestick patterns that is giving you issue or that you are unable to identify on your charts, so you can still tell me so that we can treat everything today, as today is the last class for candlestick patterns we have. So now this is let's go back to this bullish railway and bearish railway. You can see we still have the pictorial example of how it looks like. With the bullish railway, we want to see a bearish and a bullish one, and the difference, always note that the difference between the tweezer bottom and the bullish railway, the slight difference is just that the wicks at the top will not be present. So with us not seeing a wicks at the top, this signifies that this is a tweezer bottom. This signifies that this is a tweezer bottom. You can see this is a tweezer bottom. So why is it a tweezer bottom? We can see that at the opposite end of this candlestick pattern, there is no wicks at the opposite end. So it makes this a tweezer bottom, like we've discussed in previous classes. We can consider this a bullish railway only if there is wicks at the top. Now, with these wicks at the top, we can say this is we can say this is a bullish railway. We are calling it a bullish railway because it has wicks at the opposite ends of the candle. Likewise, the bearish railway and the tweezer top. You can see with the formation of the tweezer top, it has, you don't want to see wicks below. You can see these are just a slight difference. With the tweezer top, you don't want to see wicks below. So with this kind of formation, you can say this is a tweezer top. So we can only consider it a bearish railway if we see wicks at the opposite ends of each candle. So with these wicks we are seeing now, it is now obvious that we can now say this kind of candlestick pattern is a bearish railway. You can see. So we can now say this is a bearish railway because it has wicks at the opposite ends of the candlestick we are seeing here. You can see. So that is for the So sometimes you don't want to get confused trying to identify the bullish railway and the Twitter top. I just explain, that's why I give a clear explanation and insight on how you can differentiate them. With the bullish railway, wicks at the opposite ends. If it is a Twitter bottom, you don't want to see wicks at the top. With the Twitter top, wicks at the top only. You don't want to see wicks at the bottom. But with a bearish railway, you want to see wicks at the opposite sides. And mind you, they both serve the same meaning, but we just want to be able to identify which one is Twitter top and bearish railway, which one is bullish railway and Twitter bottom. Is that clear? So now we've covered this on Twitter top, Twitter bottom, and Twitter bottom and bearish railway and bullish railway. We've covered this. We now understand their full meaning. So now let's quickly look at. You can see the bullish harami. We can say that the bullish harami, we can identify it there in sense that this is the mother candle, this is the child, and the child, you always want to identify a bullish harami. The child has to be at the front of the mother, so the child would cover some significant portion of the bearish candle. So with this closure, we can say this is a bullish harami. And with the bullish harami formation, we can see it's like a bearish candle, but this following candle that forms closes inside. If this candle closes outside, we can now say there is a continuation of this cell we are seeing. But unfortunately, this candle that closes inside. So with this indication, we can say this is a bullish harami. So with the bearish pattern, conversely to what we discussed, conversely to how we discuss what the bullish harami is, with the bearish pattern, we are seeing a bullish candle. A bullish candle that closes, and the following candle that closes bearish, and inside, you want to see it inside the mother. So that's why we are saying this is like a mother and this is the child. Because with this candle formation, the idea is that there will be a long bullish or bearish candle. So the following candle that forms is inside it. So that is the idea behind the mother and the child. And with this one, you are seeing A. This is obviously a bullish engulfing. You can see like sometimes with the bullish harami and the bullish engulfing, you can say that they want to seem look the same but in opposite terms. Fine. As we are calling this the mother and the child, in the bullish engulfing terms, we can say this is the child and the father. Like the father left behind the child. But you can see like the bullish engulfing, the bullish candle always have to be at the front, not the back. If this candle was at the back, we can now say it is bearish harami. But you can see the bullish candle is at the front. We can say this is bullish engulfing. So with the idea of the bearish scenario, bearish engulfing. So now with this bearish engulfing, you can see it's also similar to this bullish harami, but this one is like a child left behind, and this is the father. And you can see how long this one closes. So you can see that this one, like they are more of like opposite. You can say it's the opposite of this bearish engulfing. But in the bearish engulfing, you want to be seeing the confirmation candle at the front. So with this confirmation candle now, it is something that is trying to let us know that the buyers, they are in total control. They engulfed the buyers with this small portion of closure candle. So the following candle that forms closes bearish engulfing. So with this bearish engulfing closure, we expect price to come downwards. You can see. So this is how you can differentiate. You don't want to mistake the bullish harami candle to bullish engulfing or or bearish engulfing. So you can see the slight difference we've been able to identify on our chart now. The bullish engulfing has to be at the front and engulfing the bearish candle. The bullish arami, the mother has to be at the back with the baby, bullish arami. The bearish arami, the mother has to be at the front and the baby has to be at the front, at the back. Sorry, the mother has to be at the back and the baby has to be at the front. With the bearish engulfing, the child is at the back and the father is at the front. You can see. So these candlestick patterns, they look similar but different meaning of the opposite. So you can see how I'm able to derive and explain all the meaning of this one. So now, see the dark cloud. The dark cloud and the piercing line. You can see the dark cloud are patterns whereby we can make use of in an uptrend market. In an uptrend market. In an uptrend market. So the piercing line, you can say they are patterns whereby we can make use of in a downtrend market. In a downtrend market. So you can see. So you can see like the dark cloud is like the opposite of the piercing line. Right? With the dark cloud, this is an indication that the buyers, they were taking control of these buys with this candle closure. But when this candle formed, the buyers tried to push the price up here. But when this candle closes, it closes inside and it closes below the 50% of this candle. So it's an indication that the sellers are in. So this dark cloud can be used as a trend reversal. Maybe you are in an uptrend market and you spot this dark cloud in a place whereby you are expecting to sell the market and you spot the dark cloud. So it's an indication that the sellers, they want to step in and change the trend of the market. So with this piercing line, this is a bearish scenario. So we're in a place whereby we want to anticipate to buy the market from, and we are spotting the piercing line. Is an indication that is trying to let us understand that see the sellers are still trying to push the price up. They try to push the price down to this lowest point, but unfortunately, you can see to this lowest point here. But unfortunately, when this market closes, it closes above the 50% of this candle, of this bearish candle. So with this formation, it is an indication that the sellers failed to continue to push the price down to the downward movement we are seeing. So with this closure is an indication that the sellers failed. The sellers failed and the buyers are in, they stepped in. So it's an indication that the buyers really want to push the price up from where we are seeing. You can see the candle opens, it opens here, the buyers try to push the price up, the sellers came in, they tried to push the price down again. But eventually when this candle closes, it closes here. Because normally, if this candle was to close this bearish, we want to see a bearish candle. And if you want to see a bearish candle, you can say this is a bearish candle. And don't forget, the color of this candle matters. So with the bearish scenario now, we can say like, okay, the buyers try to push the price up. But when this candle closes bearish, they closes here. So with this kind of formation is an indication that the sellers are still interested to keep pushing the price downwards. But that doesn't happen. But what happened is we are seeing a bullish candle. So in this scenario, the colors matters because it's the colors that will make us know what is actually happening in the market. So it is that color that will make us know what is actually happening in the market. So with this piercing line, you can see there is a bearish candle, and the following candle that forms comes bullish. So this is an indication, even if you are in a sell trade and you are seeing this in a zone whereby the markets could buy from, and you are seeing this piercing line, and it gives you all the confirmation needed. The bullish candle closes above the 50% of the bearish candle. So this is an indication that the buyers, they are in. They want to step in and change the trend of the market from what we are seeing in to this. So is that I hope you understood my explanations on this candlestick so far. If you don't understand, or if a candlestick pattern is giving you issue or problem, try and tell me now, because this is the last class we will be looking at candlestick patterns. So that's why I'm giving us a revision to what we've done. I've talked about the Twizzler bottom, the bearish railway, the Twizzler top, and the bullish railway. Now I've spoken about the bullish engulfing, the bullish arami, the bearish arami, and the bearish engulfing candle. I'm talking about the dark cloud and the piercing line now. So this is how we'll be doing a revision of all the candlestick patterns we've discussed before the end of this class here. So now I've explained the formation and the idea behind the formation of this piercing line and the dark cloud. So now let's look at. You have a question?
I have a question.
Okay, sir.
Concerning that dark cloud and person line.
Yes.
Are you with me, sir?
Yes, I'm with you.
The both handles, they must be irrespective of the either spin bar or anything.
Yes.
Candlestick must be like bullish, maybe maravilloso candlestick, either bullish or very maravilloso.
Yes. You see, for you to consider this dark cloud or piercing line, a piercing line, this piercing line, what you want to see is after the formation of this bearish candle, the next candle you want to see has to close 50%, have to close half. Like for example, now see this. You can see it closes above the 50% of this candle. So with this formation, it is an indication that the buyers are in. So sometimes if this had closed like this, so if it had closed like this, what candlestick pattern is this? Huh? Mr. Adetola, if this candle had closed like this, what kind of candlestick pattern can we call this? Are you still with me? Exactly, this is bullish arami. It is bullish arami because you can say, like, with the formation of this bullish arami, it is unable to claim the 50% of this candlestick. So with the bullish arami, we can just use it as an hint that the buyers, their strategy, they want to do something. It's an indication that it seems the sales we are seeing, might be an end. There might be an end to it. So with this bullish arami, is an indication that it seems the buyers wants to step in. Sometimes you don't want to make use of maybe if you are not confident enough, sometimes you don't want to make this bullish arami as your total confirmation. So the next candlestick you waited for, maybe this next candlestick now, what kind of candlestick pattern is this one again? This is now a 3 candlestick patterns confirmation now. So what candlestick patterns are we seeing?
This morning star.
Exactly, morning star. We can see why sometimes people don't. Sometimes if you don't want to make use of your bullish arami as a confirmation of trend, as a confirmation of change of trend, you can wait for the following candle. So now that we are seeing that after waiting, the following candle we are seeing is a bullish candle, and it's interpret to what our three candlestick patterns gives us, which is morning star. So now we can consider that, oh, it seems the buyers are now in total control. They are trying to push up the market from where we are seeing the market from. You understand now? But if we are not seeing this with the piercing line, now with the piercing line, we can say with the piercing line formation, there is a slightly big difference from it. You can see with the piercing line, the buyers, they are able to cover significant portion of the bearish candle, and they close this candle inside the bearish candle, but it is above the 50% of the bearish candle. So with this now, we can say this is a piercing line, and this can be used. It's stronger, yes, you can say it's stronger. It's a stronger confirmation to the bullish Arami. So it's a stronger confirmation to the bullish Arami, because the buyers are shocking. They are interested to really push the price up. Unlike this bullish Arami we are seeing, you can see it only covers some significant amount of portion with the bearish candle. But with this piercing line, it is a confirmation that is trying to let us understand that it seems the buyers are really strong. They want to push the price up with this closure of how the candle closes. You can see the difference. So now likewise the dark cloud. If the dark cloud had closes like this, if this had closes like this, what pattern can we call this now? What pattern can we call that? Which double stick candlestick pattern can we call that? Are you with me? Which? Huh?
Where is it?
This one. What pattern can we call this? You can see the bearish candle closes inside.
It's very sharp.
Exactly, very Sharami. Thank you. So now we can see that there is a slight difference from the dark cloud and the bearish Sharami, but sometimes it might get confusing. But if we are able to understand the psychological formation behind their formation, we know that with the dark cloud, what do we want to see? We want to see the bearish candle closes below the 50% of this bullish candle, and you can see with this now, you can see it closes below. So with this indication, it is an indication that the sellers, they want to change the trend of the market from where we are seeing it here. So now with this dark cloud formation, you can see how the buyers, they were still able to push the price to the highest point we are seeing here. But unfortunately for them, the market eventually closes back inside the bullish candle. And with this closure, the sellers were able to make the closure of this candle inside, and the candle closes below. It will have been a total scenario whereby maybe we experience a bullish candle here. And you can see with this bullish closure, we can say this is a continuation in trend of the market. Is that not right? But we are not seeing that. What we are seeing is a bearish candle that closes back inside the bullish candle. So with this closure, this is an indication that even if you are in a buy trade, you want to even consider closing your trade or closing your trades, because the market is trying to let you understand that the sellers are in control. The sellers, they are in control with this kind of formation. So this is how you can distinguish between the dark cloud and bearish Arami without getting confused. And mind you, they both serve similar purposes, but the only difference is that with this dark cloud is an indication, is a strong indication that the sellers really want to do something. But with this bearish Arami, now let's look at the bearish Arami. Sometimes if this closes bearish Arami, like I give you an example of the bullish one, and we see that this is an obvious bearish arami, and we still don't want to make our decision, we can always wait for the next candlestick to form. And with the next candlestick forming and giving us this kind of closure, what does that tells us? What candlestick pattern is this? What steady candlestick pattern is this? Don't mind my phone. What candlestick pattern is this? Exactly. Evening star. So now you can see that we make use of two candlestick pattern first, but we are not still confident. We still want to see something. So the following candlestick pattern that forms, which is the third candlestick, aligns to our three candlestick patterns, which is the evening star. So with the evening star formation, we know that it is a control change of power from the democratic from the what's it called, change of power from the buyers to sellers. So they shocked the buyers by changing this trend with a three candlestick confirmation. Before we saw a bearish arami, but we are not using that as enough as a stronger evidence, as a stronger indication that the sellers are in control. We want to see something, and the next candlestick we saw was a total domination candlestick pattern that is indicating a sell pressure. And using our three candlestick pattern confirmation, it aligns to one of it, which is the evening star. So with the evening star formation, you want to understand that the sellers, they are in total control. So if you are in an uptrend of that particular market and you are seeing the evening star, you yourself, you know that this is, it seems there wants to be a change of trend to what I'm seeing. Because with this three candlestick pattern, it is very, very strong and powerful to change the trend of the market in a place whereby we are anticipating to sell the market at our resistance zone. So having understands that, now we've covered the dark cloud and the piercing line. So we spoke about the evening star. So we can see with the evening star formation, we can derive them from the bearish arami or the bullish arami. But with the evening star, you want to make sure you use the third candle as confirmation, which is very, very important. The one in the middle, the color does not matter, but the third one has to be bullish if you are looking to buy, and it has to be bearish if you are looking to sell. And the closure of the candle, you want to see a body closure, a strong body closure for the bearish scenario. You can say a bearish marabuzo, but it has to be a bearish closure, because that bearish closure is what we are using as an indication that it seems the sellers want to really push the price down for when we are seeing it. So with the bullish closure in the buy scenario, with the bullish closure in the buy scenario, we want to see something, that we want to see a bullish candle indicating a strong pressure from the buyers, so indicating that there is significant change of power, shift of power. You can see. So you want to see a total candle that has a good body closure. So you don't want to make a decision whereby the closure of the candle, following candle closes like this, and the one. So you don't want to make this decision. If you are making your decision of this one, you are just taking, maybe you know the risk involved. But you want to see a strong closure, because that strong closure will give you that confirmation and confidence that it seems the buyers are really, really strong at this zone. So that's why it is very, very important to make use of the third candle. Wait for the third closure candle, because if you are calling a candlestick pattern a three candlestick pattern, we want to make use of the third one as confirmation. If you are saying something is a two candlestick pattern, we want to make use of the second as a confirmation. And if it's a single, we just want to make use of the single candlestick pattern as confirmation. And with our single candlestick patterns, that's where we have our bullish pin bar and the bearish pin bar. With that formation now, we are not waiting for any second candlestick pattern. We are just using that single one as a confirmation. But if you are using a double, let's look at bullish engulfing as an example. We are making use of the second as confirmation. The bullish arami, we are making use of the second as confirmation that gives us this bullish arami. The bearish arami, we are making use of the second as confirmation that gives us this bearish arami. The bearish engulfing, we are making use of the second candle as confirmation. With this dark cloud, it was this second candle that makes us understand this is a dark cloud. With this piercing line, it is this second candle that makes us understand this is a piercing line. So in that 3 candlestick scenario as well, you want to wait for the closure of the third candle to form before you can make your decision. So you want to make use of that third candlestick to form before you can make your decision on which candlestick patterns you want to use. So it is very, very important to always wait for your closure. If you are using a 2 candlestick pattern, you want to wait for the second. If you are using a 3 candlestick pattern, you want to wait for the third. So now we've discussed majority of all those ones now. So now let's look at the three black crows, and which we've discussed. But let's still, since we are doing a total revision of all so now after this, now I'll go on chart. We will be identifying majority of all these candlestick patterns ourselves before we call it a day for today's class, and I'll give room for questions too. So now with this formation, now you can see this is obviously you can see 3 white soldiers, 3 black rows. You can see the formation. They have to close above one another, and with this formation we let us know it is like a momentum. See the momentum on the formation of the candles. They are closing above their previous candles. And now again, to what I was saying earlier, you want to always wait. Since this is a 3 candlestick patterns, you want to wait for the closure of the third candle to make your confirmation. Likewise, the 3 black rows, you want to wait for the formation of the third candle to make your confirmations. So it is very, very important to always wait during the process of this third candle. Maybe you are seeing a bullish candle. You don't want to make your decision yet. You want to wait for that candle to close to give you that confirmation that this candle's pattern you are seeing, they are 3 white soldiers. This candlestick pattern you are seeing, they are 3 black crows. So you always want to wait for the formation of your patterns, of your 3 candlestick patterns to form before you can make a confirmation. So which is very, very important. So now, any question so far on all the patterns we've discussed? Because don't forget, this is the last class we'll be looking at candlestick patterns. We've covered majority of all the candlestick patterns we have. So we've covered majorly all the candlestick patterns we have. So now I'm giving room for question before we dive into our chart and look for some examples on chart before we call it a day. So any question?
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay, sir.
Can you throw more light on Marabuzo?
Okay, Marabuzo. Okay. Now, now let's look at the Marabuzo candles. So we know that this is this is the Marabuzo candle. So now you can see what is the idea, what is the formation behind this Marabuzo. The green one you are seeing here is a bullish Marabuzo. And the reddish one you are seeing here is the bearish Marabuzo. So, like I always say, the bullish Marabuzo and the bearish Marabuzo are a very, very strong candlestick pattern confirmation. In the sense that with this bullish formation now, it is a total domination. They can see like there is no room for the sellers. The candle closes bullish. It's open here, it closes up here. So it is an indication that signifies or says there is a buy pressure during this period of time. So if you are seeing this particular candlestick pattern in a zone whereby maybe in a downward market, and you are seeing this in a zone whereby you want to buy the market, is a strong reversal candlestick pattern that indicates that the buyers are really willing to buy the market for what we are seeing. Because the market, in a downtrend market, we expect this the following candle to keep selling down, but the buyers, with their strong indication of wanting to buy the market from where we are seeing it, they open the market here and they eventually closes it at the top. So you can see there is no room for the sellers. So likewise, the bearish Marabuzo, you can see in a bullish market, and we are seeing a closure of this. What does that tell us? It's trying to tell us the willingness of the sellers to push the price down, sell pressure. They are coming in with full force. So that's what leads to this closure of candle. And sometimes, if you are not using it as a reversal, you can use it also as a continuation. Continuation in the sense that in a bullish scenario, for example, in a bullish market that is going up, and you are spotting a bullish Marabuzo, so it's still an indication of the willingness of how the buyers really want to keep pushing the price up. So in that sense, you can say it is like a continuation of trend. You understand? Because in an uptrend and you are spotting a bullish Marabuzo, what does that tell you? It's telling you the willingness of the buyers to keep pushing the price to the upward direction. But in a place whereby a sell market to the downward, and we are spotting this in a place whereby there's a possibility of change of trend, and we are spotting this, it is an indication of change of trend, that there seems to be a change of power from the sellers to the buyers. Because with this closure candle is an indication that the buyers want to change the trend of the market from the sell scenario you are seeing into a bullish one. So now let's quickly look for an example of the bullish Marabuzo candle. You can see this is an example.
Sir.
Okay.
Sorry, sir.
Okay. I'm with you. Hello, hello.
Yeah, with
You want to ask a question?
I can hear you.
I thought you want to ask a question.
No, it's to me that I want to ask.
Okay,
I think
Mr. Tola, you want to ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, yes, yes. Does that mean my visual candlestick doesn't have at all or the
Doesn't have what?
maybe at the top or
Okay,
peak
okay,
peak
let me okay.
like
Thank you for that question. So the if you are to see wicks at the Marabuzo candles, they have to be very, very, very small ones. Well, where's that example I make use of? uh You can see if you want to see wicks at the Marabuzo, it does have wicks sometimes, but it's still trying to tell us the same. They don't have wicks sometimes, but they have to be very, very small, because even after the wicks, you can see it is obvious that the candle closes with a strong bullish candle, and that's what we want to see. That's what we want to see to make confirmation that, oh, this is a bullish Marabuzo, because you want to see how aggressive the buyers are during that period. So likewise, the bearish scenario too. Sometimes you will see wicks are the opposite, but it has to be tiny wicks. You can see if you look at the psychological formation of how the wicks happen during this section, the sellers try to push the price down to this place, and the buyers still try to push the price up to this. But eventually, when this candle closes, it closes below. You can see how long the bearish candle looks. So with this, you can say this is a bearish candle, bearish Marabuzo, because you can see the domination of the sellers during this section. So the sellers were able to take control. So in this scenario, you can see there is a significant amount of sell pressure during this candle formation. So same thing with the bullish scenario. With the bullish scenario, you can see the pressure from the buyers, the willingness for them to keep pushing the price up. So here you just want to see tiny wicks at the opposite end. Now let's go on chart to see. I wanted to show us obvious example. You can see this one now. You can see this one now. You can see. So you can see this. You can see how after this morning star, you can call this a morning star, right? This is a good pictorial example of how a morning star should look. The one I gave you an example earlier. We had a bearish and a bearish one candle here. But what confirms this is the following candle, which is very, very important. You can see how it closes. So this formation gives us a morning star formation. And after that morning star, what is the candlestick pattern we are able to spot? Bullish Marabuzo. In this sense, you can say that after you've confirmed your morning star here and you are seeing a bullish Marabuzo, what does that tell you? It's telling you the willingness of the buyers to keep pushing the price up. So that's why I said earlier, you can make use of it as a continuation in line with where the market is heading. Do you understand now? So now you entered your trade here with this morning star and you are seeing a bullish Marabuzo, it's still giving you a confirmation, a confidence that this buy trade you are in, the buyer's willingness to keep pushing the price up is still there. And if you are seeing again, okay, let's say we've entered our trade here, you can see we can spot another bullish Marabuzo here. What does it tell us again? It's still trying to tell us the same thing, that the buyers are still interested. They still want to keep pushing the price up. The people who are still interested in buying this market, they are still high. until the market gets to where it is currently. You can see. So with this formation, you want to keep saying bullish Marabuzo. That bullish Marabuzo is an indication that the buyers, they are still pushing the price up aggressively. So in this term, the 2-1 we've been able to spot here, we can say they are like a continuation in line with the trend of the market. With this one here, we can say this is what changed the trend from this bearish scenario we are seeing into a bullish scenario. And the 3 candlestick pattern we've been able to spot here is obviously what? The morning star. And after the morning star, we spotted bullish Marabuzo. And again, what keeps pushing this price up? Bullish Marabuzo again. That is trying to let us understand how aggressive the buyers want to keep pushing the price up. So you can see, does that answer your question? Is that clear now? Mr. Moses?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So, and if you look at the example now, look at this example again. What are we going to call this? You can see again. See, bullish Marabuzo. You can see that it has wicks at the opposite ends of it, but eventually you can see how dominating this candlestick looks. That domination, it's trying to let us understand how the buyers want to push the price, the pressure from the buyers. You can see after that formation, the price keeps going up. Sometimes you can see like this one now, it's the one that led to the change of trend we are seeing here. So it shows you how powerful the bullish Marabuzo can be, because it's a pressure, significant buy pressure from the buyers. You can see. And in line with what is happening, we still saw a morning star, which is a bullish confirmation as well. So you can see. And now, if you now want to now join this 3, you can see we keep seeing 3 bullish consecutive candles. And what are we going to call that? What are we going to call this 3 candlestick? What are we call these 3 consecutive closure candles?
The bullish one.
These 3 candlesticks that closes together, we have a pattern, a name pattern for them. Exactly, thank you. 3 white soldiers. You can see 3 white soldiers. If you are going for the single one, you can say inside them we could see this is a bullish one, but there are 3 soldiers, 3 candles that closes bullish. So with that 3, imagine like using like let me say like 3 bullish Marabuzo as confirmation. So it's just like using the momentum, the willingness, how the buyers, they are pushing the price up aggressively. That's what gives you 3 white soldiers. So you can see with this formation, we are not even seeing, there's no room for sellers at all. No room for sellers. And after that formation, you can see how the price keeps pushing up. Well, it shows the willingness of the buyers, the momentum, the buy momentum from there, the buy pressure is high to push the price up. People who are interested to buy this market, they are high here. So that's why you are seeing this formation you are seeing. So now we can say that that is 3 white soldiers. So you see this one now, we can call this one now the bearish. You can see this is a bearish Marabuzo. You can see although it has tiny wicks at the opposite ends, but eventually this candle closes strongly. It closes strong with a strong bearish candles. So this is an indication that is trying to tell us the willingness, the sell pressure from the sellers, how they are willing to push the price down from here. So you can see. So any other question before we call it a day? So we now understand every patterns we have, because this class being the last class, and what we have been doing so far is like a revision to what we've learned. So now I've been able to shed more light on what a bullish Marabozo and a bearish Marabozo is. So now any other one again before we call it a day for today's class. You now understand every huh?
Yes. But my question is,
Okay.
all candlestick pattern that we have, or we still have more of this?
Sir?
All these candlesticks you have been learning so far,
Okay.
is this all candlesticks pattern that we have?
Obviously, there are still some, but not as popular as this. But these are the common ones that is very, very important you'll be seeing on your chart. If you understand. So, and if you have been able, no, if you want to keep learning some patterns, you'll get confused. But if you are able to have, like, for example, in a bullish scenario, you want to buy market, and you are able to know or see like 3 candlestick patterns for the buy market you want to buy, it's okay for you. But if you say you want to keep adding to whatsoever you want to add to, but since you have been able to understand some, so the little you understand, you can incorporate it into your trading plan, because that is why it is important. With in a bullish scenario now, you can say if you want to use a single candlestick pattern, you can use the bullish pin bar. In the double ones, there are different ones you can use. Bullish pin bar, what's it called, bullish engulfing. You can make use of the piercing line. You can make use of what's it called, the bullish harami. And if you are saying you want to make use of the 3 candlestick pattern, you can now make use of the morning star. So you have different candlestick patterns you can make use of in line to your trading journey. You understand, sir?
Okay, sir.
Yes. So all this one we've discussed now, I believe we now under okay, yes, now you can still even make use of the bullish railway for your double candlestick pattern, and also the tweezer bottom. So you have a lot of different patterns to confirm your trade. And these are the obvious ones you'll be seeing. Obvious. It is very, very obvious on charts. Just like how obvious the bullish engulfing and the bearish engulfing mostly occurs on our charts. There are some traders whereby they rarely make use of all these ones we are seeing, all these tweezer bottom, but the only candlestick they want to see is the bullish engulfing and the bearish engulfing. You understand now? So that would be the end
So
for
what's our next topic, sir?
our next topic will be pips calculation and lot size calculation. But before that, we will do some assessment. So we'll do some assessment on this one. So that assessment we will send it to the group. So we'll assess you to understand or know that what we've been discussing, you've understood them so far, before we can move to the next topic. But the next topic is pips calculation and lot size. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Right. So thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the day.